Oh my gosh! Ah!
What's wrong? Come back! Huh. It's right behind me, isn't it? Well, luckily for every pony, I am once again tackling another pointless pony topic. How much candy can you get trick-or-treating on Nightmare Night? To figure this out, we need to, of course, lay some ground rules and information before diving on in. Firstly, we will only be focusing on how much candy you can acquire in Ponyville, as doing every location in Equestria would take forever. Sorry to all my non-Ponyvillian friends. And secondly, while I have time to do some math, I don't have time for all of it. I've got trick-or-treating to do, so instead of painstakingly looking for every house in the show that looks slightly different and counting them all as individual houses, we can use this photo provided to painstakingly look at every house in Ponyville that looks slightly different and count them all as individual houses. Now with all of that hoopla out of the way, let us quickly dive into Nightmare Night. Harkening back to the lack of remorse from my own time, I found the final count of houses to roughly be 136 buildings in full. Now, this isn't counting other houses that may be hidden off screen, but this number should be perfect, as while we are trick-or-treating, we will most likely be confined to a smaller area anyway due to time constraints. Speaking of time constraints, just how much time will we have to fully trick-or-treat this Nightmare Night? Typically, trick-or-treating starts around sunset, which in most places is 6 to 7 p.m. And if you've seen my other videos, you know I love averages, so we'll say a nice 6:30 p.m. as our start time. Now, as for the end time, most of our trick-or-treaters are younger, which means we need them back home at a reasonable hour, so our cutoff will be 10:30 p.m., giving every pony 4 hours to trick and or treat. With the time frame established, we can now learn how long it will take going door to door gathering delectable treats. Now, as a fourth cousin twice removed to a fifth cousin of Pinkie Pie, my candy harvesting techniques are top notch. You see, on average, if we are being generous, it will take about a minute going door to door to each house back to back. On top of which we will need to announce the phrase, "Nightmare night, what a fright, give me something sweet to bite," adding about 5 more seconds to the aforementioned minute. It should be important to note that not every home will have some pony to answer the door, and will instead opt for having a candy bowl waiting for its ghastly visitor. One would think that this means we save time. However, we have to also keep in mind that ponies might try and stop us to compliment our outfits, or even chat at the door, so we actually have to add about a 25-second buffer to our total time, bringing us up to 1 minute and 30 seconds to account for these slower moments. Multiplying this number by the 136 homes, we find that it will take about 3.4 hours to get to and pillage every house of its candy trove, leaving us with about half an hour to spare, in which we can use this time to socialize and even end off the night by visiting some of the festivities. But what about the amount of candy we get? Well, that is just what I'm here to answer. It would be safe to assume that some houses may give little candy, and others, such as the Cakes or Bonbon's house, may give an abundance of confectionaries. To account for any possible deviation, we will once again be counting on the trusty average. Our reliable friend can estimate about 3 candies per house. All that's left is to multiply 3 by 136 and we get 408 pieces of candy. So, to answer the question of how much candy can you get on Nightmare Night? None. Nightmare Moon gets it all, silly. But thanks to my Ko-Fi supporters like Noelter and Eclipse, I was able to buy us all some candy. Happy Nightmare Night, every pony. And until next time, go be a piece of candy or something, I don't know. Bye-bye. Surely Luna will share some with us, right? Sorry for asking.